Hi, welcome back to another video from Java for Beginners course from Course Labs. In this video, we're going to talk about decision making and loop control. This decision making and loop control concepts are usually used in Java when you want to control the program's flow based on certain conditions. Let's use some of these decision making and loop control concepts in our programs. So let's go ahead and create a new program now. I'm just going to delete all of these lines that we have written in the previous program. Right, this is the brand new class that we have, mobile. Now, just like any other program, we need to have a static main method which returns nothing, and we're gonna have string arguments here. I want to create two different objects. One is Samsung and another one is Apple. And I also want, let's say, three objects. Maybe let's say I want Microsoft for Windows Mobile, Microsoft, and let's say new mobile. Perfect. So if you notice, we currently have, oops, this is mobile. We currently have three different objects with us. Now I want to create a couple of variables here, string OS, and let's say string color. Maybe you can add another variable as well, be string size. Okay, and now inside this I want to have another method display these properties. Okay, so let's write the definition for this. So what I'm going to do is I'll just write a string array here. Let's say data of. Okay, so I have just taken a new array. Let's add some value to this. Okay, perfect. Now if this particular, let's pass an argument, maybe let's say device type. So if this device type is Samsung, my data has to be something. Else if my device is something else, it's like plain English. You can actually see this. If this particular device type, which is an argument for this method, if this is Samsung, I want to execute this code. And if it is not Samsung, rather if it is something, let's say Apple, I want to execute something else. And finally, if anything else, I want to execute some other code, right? So let's write this code as well. Okay, now if this particular device is Samsung, I want to write it as data of, let's add some values into this array, the operating system, Android. Okay, data of 1, which is going to be the color, let's say black, and similarly data of 2, let's say size. I'm just making it 4 inches. You can just make it anything that you like. 4 inches. Perfect. So this is these are the three values that I have now. Similarly, if it is Apple, I'm just going to make it, the operating system is gonna be iOS. If you want to make it white, you can just make it white. And similarly the size You can just make it anything that you like, let's say 4.5, and you should close it as well. It seems, yeah, it's closed now. Similarly here, since we are talking about Windows, let's make it Windows OS, operating system is Windows, and let's say the color is red, and let's say 4 inches. That's fine. So now we have 3 different device types here. One is Samsung, another one is Apple, and the last one is Microsoft. So if it is a Microsoft mobile, the operating system is going to be Windows, and the color is going to be red, and the size is going to be 4 inches. Now, depending upon what we are actually getting here, I want to print the data here. If I want to print some data here, this method actually has to return some value. So currently it is the return type of this method is actually void, but let's say I want to return a type array. Sorry, it's string array. Okay, so if you notice, this particular method will actually have a return value, and this return value will have this particular type, which is string. So let's write a return statement at the end of this method, return, and the data is actually going to be returned. Alright, perfect. Now there is an error here, device, because there is no method call. Sorry, so it has to be string, so there is no error now. So we have to specify the data type, which is actually coming in as argument. Perfect. Now let's call this particular function from this Samsung dot display, and the operating system, the device is actually going to be Samsung. Perfect. But if you notice, this method is actually returning some data of type array, so we have to keep that in mind. So let's take some data here, let's say output, which is of string array type, and when the data comes in, we have to display it. So system dot out dot println, let's print it as data of I, and for this I'm gonna write a simple for loop. So it will be looking at each of these values within the array. For I equals to 0, I less than 3, I plus plus, I want to print this. If you notice, there is an error here because the variable I is not yet declared. In Java we can actually declare them anywhere you like. Whenever you are using the variable, you can still declare that. And also this particular data is throwing an error because it's actually output. Right, perfect. We can now run this program and let's see how it looks like. So let's cross check once again. First we have 3 different instance variables here, and then we have display method to actually display these properties based on the type of device that we are actually getting in this argument. So if it is Samsung, we are displaying these details. If it is Apple, it is displaying these details, and if it is Microsoft Windows or any other things, it is actually going to display this. Now if you notice, we have this particular object Samsung, which is actually calling here. Perfect. So let's go ahead and run this program and let's see what happens. Perfect. Since Samsung is the object which is calling this method with the argument Samsung, we are actually getting these values. Now rather let's call this using Apple, and let's make the argument as Apple as well, and let's save this and run it once again. And there you go, the operating system is iOS and color is white and size is 4.5 inches. We can also make it Microsoft, and let's make it Windows, which goes to the else case. Sorry, let's make it anything that anything should work. Let's say Microsoft, and just run this, and there you go, the operating system is Windows, color is red, and size is going to be 4 inches. Right, so that's perfect. So this is the way you can use these decision making and loop control concepts in Java. So this concept is going to be exactly the same even with Android applications. So when we develop Android applications, we'll see some of these examples even with Android. I hope you have enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching it. See you in the next video.